Joining me on GCS Today is Katie Byrd. She is a kindergarten teacher at Carr Elementary School. Katie, it is great to see you. Thank you for being with us.
Of course. Thank you so much.
So, Katie, you are Gaston County Schools nominee for the North Carolina Beginning Teacher of the Year Award. And we had an assembly program and shared this news with you, and it came as a complete surprise. So first, tell us, what is it like to know that you are our nominee for the North Carolina Beginning Teacher of the Year recognition?
It's an amazing feeling. I know that to know that out of all of the teachers in Gaston County that are new, and to know that I was the one that was chosen, it's an amazing feeling. I'm very grateful and I'm very excited for the rest of the journey.
So we had an assembly program, and I think you all were told that it was something about the playground, but that's not what it was about. It was a complete surprise to announce that you are our nominee for the Beginning Teacher of the Year Award. So during that assembly program, when did you know that something was going on?
So we've all kind of had our theories leading up to the big ceremony, and we talked about it, and we were like, maybe it is a playground. And then we walked into the gym and we saw the balloons, and we thought, no, somebody's getting an award. And then my mom walked in, and then I was like, oh my goodness, it's me, I'm getting it. And the tears came immediately.
When your family walked in, you knew something was going on and it involved you.
Yes, yes. And I complete shock after that.
So from all of the nominees from the school districts across the state, there will be 27 finalists that are selected to go to the North Carolina Center for the Advancement of Teaching campus in Cullowhee for a week of professional development that will lead up to the announcement of the state winner. So what do you think you have that makes you an ideal candidate to be selected as a finalist and even go on to win the state Beginning Teacher of the Year award?
So when I come to work every morning, my number one goal is to build positive relationships with my students. And if they leave school at the end of the day and they learned a ton, I'm so excited about that, and I'm very happy. If they go home and maybe they didn't learn as much that day, but they had a shoulder to cry on, or had somebody to listen and know that they are loved and know that they are cared about, that is my number one goal in my job. And so I'm hopeful that will reflect in my next steps, and everybody else will get to see how much I really love my kids.
It really is about building those relationships and those connections with students.
It is. It's my favorite part.
So let's talk about your education journey.
Mhm.
Did you always know that you wanted to be a teacher?
So it's funny, I was actually looking this week. I have pictures of me as a 4-year-old sitting on the floor with my stuffed animals, and I just had my little legs crossed and I was reading them a book. And I joke, but from that day, I knew that like that was what I wanted to do. And growing up, I would play school with my friends. But I was always the teacher, and I would give out my assignments. And anyway, I as soon as I was old enough to start babysitting, I did. And ever since then, children have been a part of my life, and they just they kindle a fire in me to make a change. And it's just that's all I've ever really known. So to be here now, it's like this is my dream. This is what I've always wanted.
Now, you teach kindergarten,
Mhm.
and you told us that you are a kindergartner at heart. So how does that philosophy help you as a teacher?
I have a lot of energy, and teaching kindergarten, you especially need that. But I I like to get on the floor, and I like to play games and jump around and dance and do everything with them. And I think that helps build that relationship, but also it makes it fun. I love to have fun.
And that's what that's what students want. They want to be in a classroom where there is energy, there is fun and excitement. And I think you, as a teacher, you want to have all of that and incorporate that with learning.
Yes. Yes. It shouldn't all be strict by the book. It's fun, especially when they're 5. They need to play and they need to have that time to be little. And I love that I have the energy to share that with them.
So as a kindergarten teacher, you were teaching children in their very first year of school. So that has to be really special to feel like you are making that first impression.
Yeah, it is. That's what my kindergarten teacher was my favorite to this day. I remember her. I'm friends with her on Facebook. I still message her and talk with her. And to think that I can be that for some of my kids and 20 years down the line, I'm sending them messages telling them how proud I am with them. That's pretty special to know that I was their first ever.
Do you think it places a greater responsibility on you knowing that your kindergartners, they have to have a good start on their K-12 education journey? Do you feel that responsibility?
I don't necessarily think of it as a responsibility. I try and think of it more as like I get to help lay that foundation for them. And as much as I love school, I get to project that love of school onto them. And I I guess I look at it more as an opportunity. And that's mostly just really exciting to me.
And I think that you probably want to instill that love of school and that love of learning in
Yeah.
children. You need to do that from the
Yes.
very start. So
Yes.
they look forward to school. They look forward to learning. They look forward to being with their teacher and their classmates and being in a school setting.
Right. I think if a child comes to school and they have a really hard year in kindergarten, I think that's the only school they know. And that's sort of what they take with them in other grades. And so that's why it goes back to I want to make it fun and I want to make it a happy place so that when they go to first grade and second grade, they're like, oh yeah, I know school. I love school.
Well, I think it does put a sense of responsibility on you to put to make sure that children are going in the right direction from the very beginning. But I love that you said that you don't see it that way. You see it as an opportunity. And I think that right there, it tells us why you are a nominee for Beginning Teacher of the Year, because everything that you do in your classroom and with your students and for your families, you're doing it because you see it as an opportunity.
Right, exactly. I get to do it.
So what would you say to other new teachers? You are beginning your second year as a teacher. So what advice would you give to other new teachers who are just like you?
I think my number one piece of advice would be you don't have to be perfect. I spent a lot of my first year teaching being hard on myself. If a lesson didn't go perfect, or if somebody got hurt by an accident, things like that, I would just beat myself up about. And you can't always control that stuff. And if a lesson doesn't go perfect, they don't care. These kids don't care. They're just happy that you are there helping them, give them that attention, and you just try again tomorrow. It is not the end of the world. And be flexible. If you're flexible and you aren't tied to a particular schedule or set of rules, like you will be so much happier and so much less stressed. And just I think that reflects onto the kids as well, and they feed off of that energy, and it'll be okay.
I think that you, as a teacher, you have to plan, obviously.
You do, yes.
But you have to have that flexibility. So if things do not go exactly as planned, that's okay.
Exactly.
And you have to take advantage of where you're at in the moment, what your children are learning, what you're teaching, and what they're enjoying, and just make the best of it. And if you feel like you have a day that just didn't go exactly right, You get up the next day, you go at it to have to make that an even better day.
Exactly. Yep. Turn it into a lesson for yourself.
Well, Katie, we are so proud of you. We are so fortunate to have you in Gaston County Schools, and we're so pleased to have you as the Gaston County Schools nominee for the North Carolina Beginning Teacher of the Year Award. And I hope that in the springtime that you can come back on the program with me and we can talk about you being the state winner. Would that not be awesome?
That would be pretty crazy. I hope so too.
Katie
Thank you
Byrd.
so much.
Katie Byrd is a kindergarten teacher at Carr Elementary School. Congratulations to you, Katie, and thank you for being with us here today on GCS Today.
Thank you so much.